Back here on HQ Spotlight, France has come into this World Cup as heavy favorites. Their path to try to win it all continues tomorrow when they match up against Sweden in the round of 32. Their matchup is among three that are going down on Tuesday. So it's going to be a busy day. You've got the Ivory Coast against Norway and Mexico versus Ecuador, of course, along with France and Sweden. We now say hello to Jimmy Conrad. And Jimmy, let's dive into this France-Sweden matchup. Kylian Mbappe, no stranger to success at World Cups. He sits at 16 career goals, and he has scored 4 so far in this tournament. What sets him apart as such a prolific goal scorer?
Hey, Tiff, how much time do we have? I mean, he does everything right. And I feel like he's in the perfect setup with France under Didier Deschamps, the coach, who's now in his 3rd World Cup in charge. And obviously they won in 18. They got to the final in 2022 before losing in penalties to Argentina, and now look like the favorites. And he's done an incredible job of building this team, which is highlighted by Kylian Mbappe up top, who just gets himself in great spots. He can score with both feet. He makes good runs in behind the defense. He can also pick up the ball in front of the defense and then run at you 1v1. There's really nothing he can't do. And actually, the highest praise that he just received yesterday, from what I understand, R9 Ronaldo, the famous Brazilian Ronaldo, came out and said, who is one of the best players of all time, came out and said that Kylian Mbappe reminds him of himself at his peak. I mean, that is, I don't know where else you could go from that. I feel like I'd retire if I got praise like that. I'd be like, I don't know. It's all downhill after this. But Mbappe also has 20 World Cup goal involvements, so that's a goal and an assist since 2018. That's more than any other player, including the man on top of this list that we're watching right now, Lionel Messi, who's got more goals. But I think it's just a matter of time before Mbappe overtakes Messi at the top of that list as well.
I'm sure France does not need him to retire, though, even though that's a heck of a compliment coming from one of the greats in Ronaldo. All right, let's stick with this matchup now. And again, France, the heavy favorite. Assuming the odds, Jimmy, are right, what do they need to do to continue their path to the final?
Yeah, I mean, for me, they've got a huge amount of options. They're the most deep team in the tournament in every single line. But when you look at their attack in particular, I mean, they have Dembele, who just came off a hat-trick against Norway in their last game. You got Mbappe. You have Doué. You got Bradley Barcola, who scored against Senegal. I was at that game. Terrific run. Great player. Michael Olise has been next level. That's just their front 5 or 6 options. And then when you get back into the back line, they're just steady everywhere. So really for them, it's just maintaining putting their stamp on things and maintaining their identity within the game. And if one thing isn't on, this is my favorite part about them, Tiff. When plan A is taken away from them, they're very good at finding plan B and then plan C. So they just have so many options. They're so adaptable, and they can hurt you in so many different ways. As long as they continue to play on the front foot and just continue to be good at defending higher up the field so they don't have to sit back too much. I mean, even if they did do that, I just don't know how they're going to get beat this tournament ultimately, and that's why they're one of my favorites.
Having options, that separates the greats from just, the other teams that are out there.
Yes, exactly.
And again, I don't want to be the one to say it, so I'll just say the odds, right? The odds are in favor of France in this matchup against Sweden, but you never rule anyone out. So how perfect does Sweden need to be in order to try to pull off this upset?
Yeah, good question. I got 3 keys for the Swedes, ultimately. One, you got to give yourself a chance. So I was at the France-Senegal game. That was their first game of the tournament, and Senegal did a nice job in the first half. They created a couple good chances. They really slowed down the French attack, and they should have scored. They didn't take those chances, and it hurt them. For me, when I look at this game for Sweden, who, by the way, Sweden have given up a goal in 14 consecutive games, so France is probably going to score, though they do have some attacking talent the other way, and I'll get into that in a second. But they want to give themselves a chance. So ultimately, can they get to halftime at 0-0? That's my big challenge for Sweden in this, because France is going to want to get to a hot start, be in control of the game the whole time. So can they get to 0-0 and then play from there a little bit? I know that might not be a fun game to watch if I'm saying it like this, but I promise you it'll still be a fun game. And then my second key is get the ball to your front 3 quickly. They have some of the best attacking talent on their team. Alexander Isak, who plays at Liverpool, Victor Gyökeres, who just won the Premier League with Arsenal, and then they have Anthony Elanga, who plays at Newcastle, who didn't start actually the first 2 games, but since he's come in and gotten more minutes, he scored in his last 2, and I think he'll start in this game. And that gives them a pretty dynamic front 3. So can they get them the ball in good areas so they can be dangerous? And the last key I have is they got to pray, Tiff, because I just don't know what else they can do to really slow down this French attack. Just pray to the soccer gods and hope for the very best.
I can't believe that was on the list. But you might be right about that, Jimmy. We always appreciate you keeping it real.
Listen, Tiff, they played Netherlands earlier. and they lost 5-1 to the Netherlands. France is better than the Netherlands, so they have to pray. It has to actually happen. They have to pray to the soccer gods.
We're going to let that one stay on the list. I agree with you there. You don't have to sell it to me. Okay, besides praying to the soccer gods, let's talk about the on-the-field stuff. Who are your players to watch for in this matchup?
Yeah, I'm going to start with Sweden. I'll go back to Anthony Elanga. When he comes on the field, he just gives the Swedes a different dimension. Sure, Alexander Isak can kind of play anywhere in the front three, and he likes to get in behind. He'll make the thankless runs into the channels and try to get in behind the defense. And then you have Victor Gyökeres, who can also do all that stuff. But Elanga, if those two guys kind of drop back to try to get the ball, you still need someone that's going to be a threat in behind. And I think Elanga does a nice job of that. He scored a very good goal against the Dutch. That was like their one bright spot when they lost 5-1. But he scored the goal where Isak comes back into midfield. Elanga runs in advance of him. Then Isak turns, plays a good through ball, and they score. If they can lock into that a little bit more, that's going to put the French on their heels, and that's ultimately it's going to give them a possibility to do that. So I think Elanga will start, and he's my player to watch for them. And then for France, yeah, I could pick, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 different players. Mbappe's an obvious one, Dembele coming off the hat trick, but I'm going to go with Michael Olise, who I think is one of their most pivotal players, because yes, you do have a Desiree Doué, a Barcola, Mbappe, Dembele, but who gets them the ball in those good areas? And Michael Olise, for me, is one of the best passers in the world right now. He does a really nice job of getting himself in good spots to make decisions after he pulls out of some pressure. So I'm going to be looking at Olise, who's got 3 assists so far in this tournament. And so, yeah, those are my 2 players I'm looking at.
I'm supposed to ask you about a game prediction, Jimmy, and I don't know if I should, but I have to. So I'm going to ask you, and then maybe I'll even take it a step further. Do you have a score prediction? We'll jazz it up.
Yeah, I do. So what's interesting is that the last time these teams have met, the last 5 times they've met, 4 of the wins have been for France, but only by 1 goal. So Sweden, for whatever reason, keeps this one close. So I'm going to kind of lean on that a bit, but I'll probably take it a step further because this is a knockout round game and not just a friendly or anything else. So I could see it being close, maybe 2-1 for France, and as Sweden tries to push to get that second goal, they're going to get hit on the counterattack. So I got France to win 3-1.
3-1, and maybe Mbappe gets some more of those goals. Maybe he has a hat trick for us.
I don't know about hat trick. I'll give him 1 this game. I think it's going to get spread around. I think Dembele gets another one, and we'll put Michael Olise in there as well.
All right, you heard it here first. Jimmy Conrad, thanks so much for joining us. All right, well, your home of the World Cup is on Golazo. You can check that out, all 48 nations. There's a lot going on, streaming 24/7. Check it out.